There is a number you need to see. It is not on the news. It is not in the president's speeches. It is the only number that matters right now. $40 trillion. That is the combined value of every 401k, IRA, and private pension fund in the United States of America. It is the largest pile of accumulated wealth in human history. It represents your sweat, your 40 years of waking up at 6 a.m., your missed birthdays, your sacrifice. You built that pile of money because you believed in a simple promise, that if you played by the rules, if you saved, if you invested, you would be safe when you got old. I am here to tell you that the promise has been broken. We are not talking about a market crash. We are not talking about a recession. We are talking about a confiscation, a calculated legislative and mathematical seizure of your private property. It is January 2026. The United States government is technically insolvent. The debt has crossed $38 trillion. The interest payments alone are consuming 40% of all tax revenue. The foreign buyers, China, Japan, Saudi Arabia, have left the building. They are not buying our debt anymore. So, Uncle Sam has a problem. A catastrophic problem. He needs to sell trillions of dollars in bonds just to keep the lights on for another month. But nobody wants them. Who is the buyer of last resort? Look in the mirror. It is you. It is your retirement account. They are not going to ask you. They are going to mandate it. The legislation is already written. The narrative is already being deployed. They are coming for the 40 trillion. Over the next 20 minutes, I am going to walk you through the 4 stages of the Great Retirement Heist. I will show you the historical blueprint they are using, from Argentina to Poland to Hungary. I will show you the exact laws they are passing right now under the guise of safety, and I will show you why, if you do not act before the end of this year, your golden years will be funded by a currency that is worth 0. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is balance sheet arithmetic. Welcome to Phase 1, the setup. To understand the theft, you have to understand the desperation. You have to look at the books. In 2026, the U.S. deficit is running at 8% of GDP. That is wartime spending levels. But we are not technically at war. We are just broke. For 50 years, the U.S. had a privilege. We could print dollars, and the world would hoard them. We could issue debt, and the world would buy it. That era ended 2 years ago. The BRICS alliance, the digitization of gold, the weaponization of the dollar, it all converged. The world stopped financing our lifestyle. So, the Treasury Department is sitting in Washington, staring at a liquidity cliff. They need to issue $4 trillion in new debt this year. If they let the free market decide the interest rate, rates would spike to 10% or 12%. That would bankrupt the government immediately. They cannot afford 10%. They can barely afford 5%. They need a captive audience. They need a buyer who doesn't care about the return. They need a buyer who cannot say no. That is where your 401k comes in. It starts with a word, a simple, boring, bureaucratic word: prudence. You have seen the headlines this month. Protecting seniors from market volatility. The need for stable returns. Guaranteed retirement accounts. They are selling you fear. They are telling you that the stock market is too dangerous for your nest egg. They are telling you that crypto is a scam. They are telling you that you need safety. And the government, in its infinite benevolence, is going to provide that safety. Here is the mechanism. It is called the government bond mandate. It won't be 100% at first. They are smart. They operate by the boiling frog principle. It will start with a regulation requiring all tax-advantaged accounts, that's your 401k and IRA, to hold a minimum of 25% of their assets in U.S. Treasury bonds. They will call it a high-quality liquid asset requirement. HQLA. Sounds boring, right? It sounds responsible. But let's do the math. Let's say inflation is running at 8%. We all know the real number is higher, but let's use the official CPI. The government forces your retirement fund to buy their bonds paying 4%. You are earning 4%. Inflation is eating 8%. You are losing 4% of your purchasing power every single year. Guaranteed. Over a decade, that is a 40% confiscation of your wealth. They didn't come into your house and take the gold bars from your safe. They didn't wire the money out of your bank account. The number on your screen stayed the same. It might even have gone up a little bit. But what you can buy with that money has been cut in half. This is called financial repression. It is the oldest trick in the book. It is how bankrupt empires liquidate their middle class to save the sovereign. And if you think it can't happen in America, you haven't been paying attention to history. Let's go to phase 2, the historical precedent. I want you to look at 3 countries, 3 modern, Western-style economies, 3 warnings. Warning. Number 1, Argentina, 2008. The government was facing a debt default. They had no access to international credit markets. The president, Cristina Kirchner, went on television. She said the private pension system was predatory. She said the banks were taking advantage of the workers. She said the government needed to protect the retirees. Overnight, they nationalized $30 billion of private pension funds. They took it all. They swapped your private assets for government IOUs. The people who had saved for decades woke up to find their accounts empty, replaced by a promise from a bankrupt state. Warning number 2, Poland, 2014. Poland is a member of the EU, a developed nation, but their debt to GDP ratio was getting too high. They were violating EU rules. So what did they do? Did they cut spending? No. They seized 51% of the assets in private pension funds, specifically the government bonds held by those funds. They took the bonds, canceled them, and said, "Look, our national debt has gone down." They burned the citizens' savings to fix the government's balance sheet. It was a bookkeeping trick paid for by the workers. Warning number 3, Hungary, 2010. This one is the most insidious because it gave people a choice. The government gave citizens an ultimatum. Move your private pension assets into the state system immediately. If you refuse, you lose your right to a state pension entirely. It was blackmail. Give us your savings or we will let you starve when you are 70. 97% of people capitulated. They handed over the money. The United States is currently in step 2. The crisis is here. The demonization has started. The seizure is next. Now let's look at phase 3, the 2026 mechanism. How will they do it here? It won't look exactly like Argentina. It will be more subtle. It will be wrapped in the American flag. We are already seeing the legislation. Look at the Secure Act 4.0 proposals floating in Congress. Look at the new ESG mandates for pension funds. They are creating a walled garden. They are making it increasingly difficult for pension fund managers to invest in anything other than government-approved debt. They are penalizing investment in energy, in crypto, in foreign markets. They are funneling that $40 trillion river of cash into one direction, the U.S. Treasury. But there is a darker layer to this. It's called the exit tax. Right now you might be thinking, okay, John, I'll just withdraw my money. I'll pay the 10% penalty and buy gold. They are way ahead of you. Have you noticed how difficult it has become to move money lately? Try sending a wire transfer for more than $10,000. You get interrogated like a criminal. Try withdrawing physical cash from your bank. They treat you like a drug dealer. This is capital control light. In 2026, I predict we will see a massive hike in the early withdrawal penalty. It won't be 10% anymore. It will be 30% or 40%. They will call it a speculation tax. They have to lock the doors. If everyone tries to run for the exit at the same time, the system collapses. So they are welding the doors shut. They are creating a system where your money is easy to put in and impossible to take out. It is the Hotel California of finance. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And then there is the final piece of the trap, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. FedNow is fully operational. The digital dollar is in the pilot phase. Imagine a world where your 401k payout doesn't come in cash. It comes in Fed coins. Programmable money. Money that expires if you don't spend it fast enough. Money that can only be spent on approved vendors. Money that cannot be used to buy gold, or Bitcoin, or ammunition, or land. If your retirement savings are trapped in a digital ledger controlled by the state, you do not have wealth. You have an allowance. You are a dependent of the state. And dependents do not ask questions. Dependents do not rebel. That is the ultimate goal. Not just solvency. Control. Phase 4. The action plan. I know this is heavy. I know you want to close this video and go back to watching sports. Cognitive dissonance is a powerful drug. It is easier to believe that everything will be fine. But hope is not a strategy, and denial is a death sentence. You still have a window of opportunity. It is closing fast, but it is open. Here is what you need to understand. Diversification is no longer about buying different stocks. Buying Apple and buying Microsoft is not diversification. They are both in the same system. They are both denominated in the same dying currency. They are both subject to the same confiscation laws. True diversification today means jurisdictional diversification. It means counterparty risk elimination. 1. You need assets that are not someone else's liability. Physical gold, silver. Why are central banks buying gold at record rates in 2025 and 2026? China, Russia, India, even Poland. They are dumping dollars and buying metal. Do they know something you don't? No. They know exactly what I'm telling you. They know the dollar is being debased to zero. They are exiting the system. You should too. But you can't hold paper gold. You can't hold an ETF. If you can't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. 2. Bitcoin. Self-custody. I don't care if you like crypto or hate it. You have to understand its utility. It is the only asset in the world that you can carry in your head. It is unseizable wealth. If you memorize your 12 words, you can cross any border, escape any jurisdiction, and your wealth travels with you. It is the escape hatch. Why do you think the regulators are attacking it so hard? Why are they calling it illicit finance? Because it is the only exit door they can't weld shut. 3. Real land, farmland, productive land. In a world of digital illusions and paper promises, the things that keep you alive, food, water, shelter, will never go to zero. But you have to own it outright. No mortgage. If you have a mortgage, the bank owns it. And if the bank fails, the state owns it. 4. The penalty is the price of freedom. I talk to people every day who say, but John, if I cash out my 401k now, I have to pay taxes and penalties. Listen to me. Would you rather pay a 30% penalty now and keep 70% of your real money? Or would you rather keep 100% of your paper money and watch it lose 90% of its purchasing power over the next decade? The penalty is the exit fee from the Titanic. Pay it. Get on the lifeboat. Let's conclude. The United States is entering the end game of the long-term debt cycle. There is no mathematical way out of this debt. None. They cannot grow their way out. They cannot tax their way out. They have two choices. Default on the debt, which destroys the global economy, or inflate the debt away, which destroys your savings. Politicians always choose inflation. Your 401k is the fuel for that inflation. They are going to burn your savings to keep the engine running for just a few more years. They are betting that you will remain passive. They are betting that you will trust the experts on TV telling you to stay the course. They are betting that you are too afraid to act. Prove them wrong. They are taking it, but only if you leave it there for them to take. This is not about getting rich. This is about survival. This is about ensuring that the labor of your life is not erased by the stroke of a pen in Washington. The debt wall is here. The laws are written. The trap is set. Do not be the collateral damage of their failure. Wake up, get out, take control. This was John. History is watching. Make the right move.